shit intro. And then
wow, that's fucked up. Anyway, we're recording. Yo, welcome back to SSDV. This is... Damn, that's fucking loud. This is your host. Nah, shit, not the host anymore. I got kicked off anyway. Anyway, I'm the big buff and black. Oh, shit, I fucked up again. I am the small, skinny, and white. I'm out of sight. Motherfucker. I don't even drink electrolytes.
That's the right thing to do.
Next to me is TJ, a.k.a. he'll slay all day, every day. He'll go off and eat a head because he fucks horses. But that's neither here nor there.
What?
To the left of me, we got
no.
T. She likes to pee all over thee, and she doesn't fuck with. She doesn't fuck with the pronouns
Ew.
they, thee, and z.
Hey, we don't kink shame in this house.
Next to her, we got Kit Kat with the bat. As T said, she got 16 flats on her Cadillac. She ain't going nowhere no time soon. It's called a hearse, but hey, she'll let down now with a verse. Across from me is Clint. Fuck these bitches. Make them walk like they got a splint up in their ass because his dick, I don't fucking know. I was trying not to be gay, but it's hard for me not to talk about his dick. Neither here nor there. Last time we was out together, a bitch grabbed his dick and said, ooh, he thick. Mind you, she grabbed mine.
Still hurt.
Yes, nigga. She grabbed mine and looked at me like, oh, okay. And then grabbed it. Ooh, you thick. Anyway. And last we got is Paul. He knows it all. Hey, yo, bitch, you don't let him get into them sugar walls. All right?
I'll take it.
Since I'm not hosting today, Clint, this is on you.
I'm the captain now. No, what's up, everybody? We're going to go a little bit different direction from our usual relationship topics. We're going to have a little bit of a State of the Union type discussion today. I want to start off with a few questions, then we're going to watch a short video and then go through kind of like what that means. And it's going to tie up a little bit of the other stuff that we've been talking about over this whole thing. I mean, it's like you didn't realize at the time, but we're going to connect the whole series of other events we've talked about in this episode.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of fun.
And maybe have a little bit of other conversation about other internalized things, depending on the time. But we'll go ahead and start off with a very simple question. I want to know what each person knows about the Cold War. What when someone says Cold War to you, what is your recollection? What is your take? What is the history, knowledge, personal opinion? Just what do you think when you hear those words?
Nah, took my legs.
So yeah, we'll start. Whoever
Thanks,
over here
Lieutenant
wants to start.
I may be getting my wars mixed up. There's quite a few of them.
It's hard to get the Cold War mixed up with anything else.
Okay. I wasn't a history major. The thing, is this the right one? Just talk.
Just
I'm
throw it
thinking
out.
of
This is part of. This is literally part of the question.
There's a method behind the madness.
Do it.
Trust the man.
Okay. Pressure. Oh my God. The first thing that comes to my mind is like space.
Okay.
I feel like
No, that does have
space race,
Yeah, I'm okay
Russia
with that.
versus the United States. That's
Okay.
the biggest thing that first pops into my head.
Got
When we
it.
say Cold War.
Mhm.
Nuclear warfare.
That's a good one.
Okay. Alright. Nah, I took my legs. Oh, god damn it. But no. Yeah, it's a lot of hot wars within that one little Cold War. There's a lot of how do I want to put this? There's a lot of cat's paw going on with that.
What you're looking for is proxy war.
Mm.
That's what you're looking for. Is
No, I don't mean like as in, like when I say there's hot wars, and I also mean like there's cat's paw, as in, there's a lot of spy games and whatnot that was going on.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't mean like, okay, yeah, we had a hot war with Nam and everything else like that, but I also didn't mean.
I mean, there were a lot of other ones too.
Yeah. So.
Light skin, bear white.
I don't remember anything.
I hate
about
this
the
nigga.
Cold War. To be honest, yeah, history wasn't one of my strongest subjects. Yeah, I don't know.
Were we talking like, Cold War, like the term, or were we talking about the event?
Whatever the first thing you start thinking about when someone says Cold War around you.
Oh, I mean, much the same as anybody else. Like they're talking about, the Cold War. So,
Mike.
East. Oh, sorry. Yeah, East versus West. We're talking about fighting against Soviet encroachment. Rise of communism. Unpopular wars around the globe. Just that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So.
All right. So second question. This is all going to tie up really fucking fast. So bear with me here. Does anyone know about what the perceived end of the Cold War was?
I think it was around the time.
I'm about to say, was this what, with Batista?
Hey.
What?
Was it Batista?
Cuba. No.
No.
There's a very specific event that people link to thinking in the end of the Cold War.
No, that was what I was asking. I don't fucking know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think it was when the U.S. and Russia teamed up to go to space. Was that then?
Was that a thing?
Yeah.
I don't think that was a thing.
Was that when everybody died?
What the fuck are you talking about? Because I don't recall this happening.
I think I've
in
seen
history.
this movie.
No.
Was Bruce Willis in this movie? Was it an asteroid coming down?
It's when the what's it called? The rocket exploded.
The challenge?
I think there were people from both the U.S. and Russia in there. No.
No.
Yeah, I haven't decided school on what you're talking about.
But she's talking about what I'm talking about.
Okay, well, what are you talking about?
You
'Cause
never
I need to know
what I'm
this.
talking about. So
I'm just gonna say
Yeah, I think the movie was Armageddon.
Yeah.
I just know it ended in my grandfather coming back home. That's about it.
what?
Was that Vietnam?
Yes.
You want me to bridge this real fast?
Yeah. Go ahead and throw in.
So most people think that the end of the Cold War happened with the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1991.
Oh.
So
separating East and West Germany after World War II. Germany was occupied by both Soviet and NATO forces and separated by a wall. The Iron Curtain, if you will, between the East and the West, using Germany, a conquered territory from World War II, as kind of the separation zone. And basically everything after World War II until now has been relevant for why we are in the situation that we're in. And what I meant by tying it in with our other topics was, TJ, how do you feel about them talking about
Trannies.
no, I was gonna say teaching 3-year-olds about maps, and I don't mean geography. Teaching about minor attracted people
Yeah, we're not talking about that shit that Dora
in
carries in
school.
her backpack.
Talking about second and third graders that their gender should be fluid.
I was.
How do I feel about that?
Yeah.
I feel like those people that talk about that should be murdered.
there you go.
Okay,
Very based.
I like that. I like that answer.
so why do you think that is? That's happening so freely right now? Why do you think that's such a popular opinion? How do you think we got here?
Bro.
Yeah, you could not have asked it a more complicated question.
He knows what he's doing.
No, I mean like.
The-
Do you think it's just a product of the times? Do you think there's something more behind it? Like, I don't need a pinpoint accurate. I just is it times are changing? People are weird. Conspiracy theory. What broad consensus is that in 2022 that's okay to talk about, but in 1981 you would basically be tarred and feathered for talking crazy shit like that in the school.
Jesus. Okay. One, it's weird as fuck. To me, I don't know where it came from. The fact that it's basically demasculating men, making women more like men, right?
Okay.
And it's a society that's predicated on literally destroying men, and men not knowing how to be men, women being more like men. Forgive me, I'm high right now.
No, you're good.
No, man, you're writing some poetry over
I,
there.
No, I came in just with the B-52 carpet bombing here. It was like
He's still
It's
stuck.
like, oh yeah, man, I'm usually used to being asked about like what I think about women feel about things. And it's usually like I just like I don't give a fuck. But now I'm being asked like real questions. What the fuck is happening?
I was about to
This
say,
video right here.
I was about to say, you got to be careful, man. You made up this dinner and everything like that. You're taking him to another place right now.
I'm about to say he's going.
It's looking like it's about to be a nap too.
I say, don't forget, he had the special mixed drink earlier too.
Oh my goodness.
So
It's where he is powerful.
we'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and move along so you're not under the heat of that spotlight too long. But I picked you specifically because I knew that you had the most emotion that I could invoke toward like what was happening in schools and such, and would have a good take that would point us to where we're taking this whole thing.
Pretty much.
So we're gonna watch a short. I found the most condensed version of it I could. It leaves a little bit out from the overarching message, but it does enough to convey my point.
And for
So I'll we'll have BBB over here drop a link in the description of this.
yeah, so
Some
it'll be
shit.
on if you guys are listening on YouTube, watching YouTube, the link will be in the description.
Yeah, so we'll drop a link to it. I'll make sure he drops a link to the full version, and we'll also have him drop a link to some other stuff I'm gonna talk about a little bit later. Y'all's homework, because I came fully stocked today.
You can
Only in you, Daddy.
make my life, why don't you?
So we're gonna watch a short video. I'm going to butcher this name, but this was from 1984. A weird year, because we're gonna talk about that again a little bit later. Yuri Bezmenov's.
Yeah, you got it right. Yuri Bezmenov.
It's a warning to the United States. This was taken in 1984 by a defector from the Soviet Union.
I know this is gonna be good because I've only watched clips.
And so this is a very, very short clip, because I was going through this earlier today trying to find how I wanted to do this, and I felt like I was going to lose viewers if I put on a full. If we had a watch party, we're just sitting there watching this shit together.
That'd
So that's
be one
why
thing.
I found one that was less than 10 minutes that conveyed most of the stuff I wanted to talk about. So take into account this happened in 1984. That was almost 40 years ago at this point. Yeah. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and kind of like point this at this as I'm holding it up. But yeah, so that's where we're going from. But we need to understand this happened in 1984. This happened when America was still considered like super conservative. We were heading toward the era of like Reagan and such at this time. And this is someone who lived in actual like Soviet Russia, who defected and came here. Like he turned his back on his country and came here.
Well, he's a KGB operative.
Yeah, he's a KGB. Well, I'm going to get into that. So basically, he worked for their CIA.
Ooh.
And he was so disgusted by communism and what was happening over there that he came here. And he came here and saw what was happening here in 1984. And he knew about these programs the Soviets have been running, which I said happened. We've been in this. The Cold War has been happening since the end of World War II. So that had been going on for almost 40 years before that. From the mid 40s on, Russia and the U.S. were secretly competing after World War II ended to who was going to be the major superpower. So there had been plenty of years for them to put things in place. So this is what he had to say when he came here and saw the state of things after leaving the Soviet Union.
Was born in 1939 in a suburb of Moscow. He was the son of a high-ranking Soviet Army officer. He was educated in the elite schools inside the Soviet Union and became an expert in Indian culture and Indian languages. He had an outstanding career with Novosti, which was and still is, I should say, the press arm or the press agency of the Soviet Union. It turns out that this is also a front for the KGB. He escaped to the West in 1970 after becoming totally disgusted with the Soviet system, and he did this at great risk to his life. He certainly is one of the world's outstanding experts on the subject of Soviet propaganda and disinformation and active measures. Well, you spoke several times before about ideological subversion. That is a phrase that I'm afraid some Americans don't fully understand. When the Soviets use the phrase ideological subversion, what do they mean by it?
Ideological subversion is the slow process which we call either ideological subversion or active measures, активные мероприятия in the language of the KGB, or psychological warfare. What it basically means is to change the perception of reality of every American to such an extent that despite of the abundance of information, no one is able to come to sensible conclusions in the interests of defending themselves, their families, their community, and their country. It's a great brainwashing process which goes very slow, and it's divided in 4 basic stages. The first one being demoralization. It takes from 15 to 20 years to demoralize a nation. Why that many years? Because this is the minimum number of years which requires to educate one generation of students in the country of your enemy, exposed to the ideology of the enemy. In other words, Marxism-Leninism ideology is being pumped into the soft heads of at least 3 generations of American students without being challenged or counterbalanced by the basic values of Americanism, American patriotism. The demoralization process in the United States is basically completed already. For the last 25 years, actually it's overfulfilled because demoralization now reaches such areas where previously not even Comrade Andropov and all his experts would even dream of such a tremendous success. Most of it is done by Americans to Americans, thanks to lack of moral standards. As I mentioned before, exposure to true information does not matter anymore. A person who was demoralized is unable to assess true information. The facts tell nothing to him. Even if I shower him with information, with authentic proof, with documents, with pictures, even if I take him by force to the Soviet Union and show him concentration camp, he will refuse to believe it until he is going to receive a kick in his fat bottom. When the military crashes his balls, then he will understand, but not before that. That's the tragic of the situation of demoralization. The next stage is destabilization. This time, subverter does not care about your ideas and the patterns of your consumption. Whether you eat junk food and get fat and flabby, doesn't matter anymore. This time, and it takes only from 2 to 5 years to destabilize a nation, what matters is essentials: economy, foreign relations, defense systems. And you can see it quite clearly that in some areas, in such sensitive areas as defense and economy, the influence of Marxist-Leninist ideas in the United States is absolutely fantastic. I could never believe it 14 years ago when I landed in this part of the world that the process will go that fast. The next stage, of course, is crisis. It may take only up to 6 weeks to bring a country to the verge of crisis. You can see it in Central America now. And after crisis, with a violent change of power, structure, and economy, you have so-called the period of normalization. It may last indefinitely. Normalization is a cynical expression borrowed from Soviet propaganda. When the Soviet tanks moved into Czechoslovakia in '68, Comrade Brezhnev said, "Now the situation in brotherly Czechoslovakia is normalized." This is what will happen in the United States if you allow all these schmucks to bring the country to crisis, to promise people all kinds of goodies and the paradise on earth, to destabilize your economy, to eliminate the principle of free market competition, and to put a big brother government in Washington, D.C., with benevolent dictators like Walter Mondale, who will promise lots of things, never mind whether the promises are fulfillable or not. Your leftists in United States, all these professors and all these beautiful civil rights defenders, they are instrumental in the process of the subversion only to destabilize the nation. When their job is completed, they are not needed anymore. They know too much. Some of them, when they get disillusioned, when they see that Marxist-Leninists come to power, obviously they get offended. They think that they will come to power. That will never happen, of course. They will be lined up against the wall and shot. But they may turn into the most bitter enemies of Marxist-Leninists when they come to power. And that's what happened in Nicaragua. You remember most of these former Marxist-Leninists were either put to prison or one of them split, and now he's working against Sandinistas. It happened in Grenada when Maurice Bishop was already a Marxist. He was executed by a new Marxist who was more Marxist than this Marxist. Same happened in Afghanistan when first there was Taraki, he was killed by Amin, then Amin was killed by Babrak Karmal with the help of KGB. Same happened in Bangladesh when Mujibur Rahman, very pro-Soviet leftist, was assassinated by his own Marxist-Leninist military comrades. It's the same pattern everywhere. The time bomb is ticking with every second. The disaster.
Yeah.
So, what everyone said about the Cold War was technically correct when they said what they first thought of. The Cold War, though, at its core, was a war of ideology over a long game. To take account those four factors. After hearing that about infiltrating schools, demoralizing, weakening, it went right along with what TJ said. He didn't outright say it because it's a different era, but anything to weaken. They don't care if you get fat and flabby and you can't fight to defend yourselves, because that's what they want. Making men less masculine. Wouldn't that go right along with making your enemy weaker? Wouldn't all the other stuff that we've talked about as far as changing existing characters and giving them other characteristics of like the LGBT community to eliminate the masculinity, to put towards a less masculine, less willing to fight ideals in the minds of your enemy, to create a crisis and destroy an economy. It's almost awfully weird, like a crisis, like the pandemic that we've been going through, and how all of a sudden the economy's been fucking up. And I have actual pictures from today that I took. This was not from the internet. This was the first time I ever in my entire life walked into a grocery store in Northern Virginia, not during a state of emergency like a snowstorm or something, and found produce shelves looking like this.
Shoot me a video. Shoot me a picture so I can add that.
I'll give you all of it. Oh, it goes on.
What did they leave?
So people are going to be really mad with the snowstorm coming up this weekend.
Yeah. No, but this was today. This was this morning. And
I don't know. Did you get some?
Pineapples though.
Yeah, they got pineapples, but yeah, no. It's where there should be.
Probably has more like to do with nobody knows how to eat a pineapple.
Yeah, nobody knows how to cut them open and fry them
It's a little
up.
prickly on the side.
Yeah, and I didn't get close-ups, but like the stuff they do have is like withered and like fucked up and look like it's starting to mold a little bit. Like
Kind of like some Maxes, yeah.
It's, oh my god.
Wait.
yeah, no.
No, the same thing I
No,
was
time's a flat
like-
circle.
It was the same thing I was telling you about how
Actually,
one with the giant. Now
and
they
it's
had
so-
for it was like rotten fucking
It's
halos.
so easy
Yeah.
to get used to certain things.
That makes sense. Like one of our friends, they had to go to 5
I'm not gonna send you
grocery
this
stores
one
to get the whole
because
list
there's
done.
someone else in the background in this one, but you can get the
Yeah.
yeah.
No, we can't see your face. I'll put that shit anyway. Put my face.
Yeah,
Put
too
it.
much
Put thing on.
Huh? We got. It continued.
Whoa.
Let's get back to the opposite.
Yeah, no, this was actually like the vegan area with like the.
So you went shopping over there.
This was like right next to like there was like
I
some
got like
tofu.
20 pounds of beans in my car.
No, there was like some tofu shit over here just out of
Based
frame.
in Goya pill.
Like that picture is a more close up of like this area, like right
Very
there.
important question. Where in northern? What?
Annandale.
Okay.
And that was pretty prevalent. It's pretty damn rich and expensive.
So, supply shortages, economic crisis, gas prices going up, continuous crisis. How does everyone feel after watching that video?
Well, no, to be honest with you, we can actually take a look. We can go back to a lot of the other podcasts we had. First one we had Paul on, which was the gun control one. How that was straight bullshit, and we can add that to how this is going through with everything else like that. Well,
Yeah, he talks about some of that in there, and he didn't bring. There was one term that wasn't brought up in here that I wish
Faggotry.
was useful idiots.
Oh yeah, we got
The useful idiots. which was basically the people who are
Very
looking
sad
to be
now.
led, easily blinded to it and become. He touched on it in there, which was your ultimate end was being lined up against the wall and shot.
Yeah.
Because they don't like the degenerates either. But all these people that are on TikTok saying that they have 4 personalities or a Satanist, but not really a Satanist, and they believe in themselves as God, are the people that are
Kanye?
proliferating this. Well, at least he doesn't look like a lizard. Proliferating this, that in the end, if the people that they think they want in power, if they get the communist dystopia, which it's already starting to look like it with food shortages and gas prices rising, they'll be the first ones that'll be executed because they have no use.
You left out the part of, the attempted concentration camps and whatnot, so.
All right, go for it. I want to hear your take then.
Are we talking about what happened?
Yeah, because
after
literally my
Pearl
question was, what does that make you think of after watching that video? How do you feel? How do you connect this?
Oh, well.
Do you see a connection?
Oh, hell yeah.
And
I see
this
the
goes to
connection. So,
everyone here.
like I said, we can take a look into everything we've spoken about beforehand. Whether it's
Because
relationship.
I mean that was my intro into the video, and
Yeah.
now I want the talking points for everyone else. What
Yeah,
they
so-
think.
so here's what it is right
I
here.
want to know. Do you think it's not connected? Do you think it has
No.
nothing to do with it?
Oh, no.
I mean, this is just in general to the group, just how we want this to go forward. I was just throwing out doing my hostly duties and such.
So here's how it is. We can go to all the other episodes we had, whether it's about the gun control, whether it's about the relationship shit and everything else like that. We can go into what was one of the other shits we did? We can go to damn near anything else we did. And this nigga right here. And it can even go down.
Ultimate tense moment talking about the decline of Western civilization. Nightmare on Main Street, how America's going away.
Well, I mean, it's dangerous to hold it in.
I swear it's my phone.
Yeah, but no, so we go in and we talk about this type of stuff and everything else like that. Like she just said, the demasculation of men has been out there prevalent. You can't help but see it, right? And it comes down to like the gas prices and whatnot going up to the point where we're in a state of decay, state of emergency kind of. We go down to Black Lives Matter, where I don't give a fuck what no one says. This is literally one of the worst things possible that could possibly happen. The thing we did about educational systems where we got these blue hairs and fucking weirdo fucking fat chin skinny bitches out there with their fucking fish lips and fucking gay ass knitted scully caps on their head talking about some, oh yeah, I'm fucking, what the hell they say? Oh, I'm NB, I'm non-binary, I'm teaching my preschoolers this shit. That's fucking retarded. That's stupid as hell. To the point where we're having
Demoralization.
Yeah, to the point where we're having motherfuckers out here bitching, moaning, complaining, and getting into issues within school systems because a boy in a dress, boy in a skirt, whatever the fuck you want to call it, raped a fucking girl inside the fucking Loudoun County fucking bathroom. To the point where, like you said beforehand,
And
where the
then
media
did it again.
and then did it twice, and twice that they know of.
Yeah, they know of.
And then, we got that shit going on. And then you add into this fact of the matter is that we got pedophilia CNN hosts and rapist CNN people going out here doing all this crazy shit. That's all inside the media. And you topple that on to the fact of the matter is that, we're pitting Americans versus Americans within all this stuff to the point where there's way too many issues that Americans have within each other to the point where we're just going to weaken ourselves. It's easy to just take over. So yeah, I can definitely see a connection easy, especially with today and the inflation. To the fact of the matter is that now all of a sudden, if you ask me personally, I think that we're on our way to a genocide of the non-vaccinated. If you ask me, so that's very concerning. You look at the fucking rhetoric, you look at the language that's going on and everything else like that. Oh yeah, it's the same thing that Hitler did when he was in Germany, just tweaked a bit. What, you want me to explain the Hitler thing?
Yes.
Oh, well, what Hitler did was, for starters, it was one of those things where, Jews are dirty, Jews are poisoning the well, kind of, sort of like that. Jews are poisoning the well, Jews are the reasons why we have this sickness that was going on around here.
Okay, get to the part that was wrong.
Which one? So fucking, Jews are all that, right? And now and then it came down to the point where, okay, you got to wear the Star of David to prove that, to show that you're Jewish and everything, is that so you can be, formally ostracized or whatever, right? So what we're doing is pretty damn similar. The unvaccinated are the reason why our economy is trash. The unvaccinated is the reason why the sickness is going around. The unvaccinated is the reason why all these deaths are happening, even though there's not really any deaths from this new variant. That's neither here nor there, right? And then you add on to the fact of the matter is that, if you're vaccinated, you get this fucking vaccine passport, so you're clear. But if you don't have a vaccine passport, you're a fucking Jew with a star. If you take a look at the similarities, that's exactly what the fuck it is.
You have to think that what this man was saying was not 2 years ago. This was almost 40 years ago.
Yeah.
He was impressed by how far things have progressed. And now America, being a large, strong nation, has resisted it longer than they expected after it was being implemented. But there's just so much in the background that's driving down the Western ideology of having a family, of strong men, of worth ethics and patriotism, that I personally feel, that's why I keep wanting to open this up to discussion. I feel like the connection can't be ignored between these two things.
I don't know.
And then that goes on. I mean, I wanted to kind of get more takes of this before I went on to my next kind of bullet point thing.
I'm trying
You
to
gotta let everyone
figure
else
out,
speak.
what's the end goal?
The destruction of America, the destruction of Western civilization. That's the only thing I can think of. Because if you take a look at everything else that's happening and whatnot, the people that we have that was like us. Let's take Australia, because I love using Australia as an example.
That's a good point.
They were very similar to us, despite them, being a colony of fucking criminals and everything else like that.
That is
But
There's that.
indigenous people.
I mean, technically, after,
Well, it sounds like they're just back on their own
the
bullshit
U.S. was
now.
technically a colony of criminals to the British, so.
yeah, but we take a look at Australia, how back in the days they they had the same types of laws and shit that we have. Well, pretty similar to what we had. They had the ability, to own their firearms and everything else like that. They take that away. It was Australia that did away with that like 10 years ago, right? They did away with that.
Yeah.
They did away with that 10 years ago.
It was a little bit longer, but
Well, yeah. Less than 20.
Over a decade.
Over 10,
Yeah,
less than 20. So
like that, yeah.
we get to the point where we take a look at where they are now today.
Mm-hmm.
These motherfuckers have concentration camps. Literal concentration camps over this bullshit we call the fucking COVID-19 bullshit. Like, to the point where, they restrict everything that you have, everything that you think you are, everything that you can possibly
If
be.
you were in quarantine, they put you in a quarantine hotel in a concentration camp.
I just read
And then
a
if you
story
step foot off your premises and they catch you, they have every right to fuck you all the way up.
They do it too.
In your later
You can't
day,
even move freely inside the concentration.
Yeah.
No, you can't move freely inside. No.
yeah,
You stay
exactly.
inside the room.
In the later days of your quarantine, you're given a wristband.
That lets you out for what, 3 hours a day?
No, it
Yard
gives you
time.
It gives you a 15-minute yard time.
Yeah.
In a designated block to walk outside within the confines.
The only thing they're missing right now is the showers.
Mm-hmm.
Probably a little oven or two.
Whoa. I was gonna say, I just read.
But how do we know they don't have an oven? I mean, China had their oven early.
Yeah, they did.
I was
Well, that's
like,
because China had the real COVID-19.
That's neither here nor there.
I did read the story about how this lady and her Tinder date, they went out for one date together.
Where's this at?
Australia.
Okay.
First date, went out. Both tested positive. They were trapped together in a room for 10 days. They're like, hey.
He must have destroyed that pussy for 10 days straight.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, bitch. I know Tinders used to be hooking up. I know I didn't do the best impression, but both of us are positive, so you might as well be positive about this dick, bitch.
Cannot with you guys.
Yeah.
Something serious. First thing in mind. Sex.
You damn listen, I'm tested positive. We're stuck in this fucking room together. I have a dick, you have a pussy. I can make it wet. Let's get it going. Let's go.
Whoa.
Next positive test, probably that pregnancy test.
There you go.
I better pull a TJ after I'm done. Psh, psh, psh. You better not keep it.
No.
TJ.
No,
Why can't
I
you
only
get
have
down
sex
some
with
stairs?
women that I want to get pregnant. Okay.
That's not entirely true.
That
Very
is
strong
not 100%
distinction.
true.
How? How is it not?
Stephanie.
See, that was in the
Is
prior
that Pink Barney
lifetime.
or whatever
You
you
know.
fucking call her?
What was that?
Is that the Pink Barney or whatever the fuck you call her?
Who the fuck is the Pink Barney?
The Power Ranger.
The Power
The
Ranger.
Pink.
Yes.
Oh no, that wasn't Pink Power Ranger.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, no. So you can't even say that.
Yeah, no, none for you.
I will
Well,
say,
no, I'm talking about now. Now. In the present, please.
The new me.
It
In the
was.
last 6 months, I've only begged women I want to get pregnant.
Well, you say that up to the point where I get a girl in your room, booty butt naked,
this
pussy
never
glistening.
happened.
Pussy
No, that's
glistening.
rape, bro. Stop.
I will get you raped.
whoa,
Whoa, who's getting raped?
whoa,
See this shit? Like,
strong statement.
I
We
feel
had
I thought
to
you
go-
said
we
his
had to go
Melissa
back to
was
basics
yours.
at some
Well,
point.
the thing is though, men can't get raped, so I will go to jail for it. So
I'm not gonna.
I mean,
do
unless
that
a man is
statement.
doing it to another man, it's not rape.
no, I got raped, bro. Kimberly held me down with her Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Yeah, I couldn't do anything. That was a small little putty.
All it was is I'm
Oh God, that one.
gonna tie you down. I'm gonna give you head. I'm gonna ride you down till we break this bed.
Technically, that was like bordering rape from that story.
No, he came and forced not rape.
It's a very
Then-
irresponsible
then-
use of her powers.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we derailed.
I was sorry.
No, I mean we had to. I was getting nervous. I was like, "This isn't a regular episode. We'll derail on some weird shit." Let's be honest. I was like, "Fuck, am I making this? Am I too dark right now?
No,
Too
no,
serious? Fuck."
I will agree that we are starting to head into that direction of even. I know in DC they're contemplating. Things are going around like you had to have a vaccination to go to the grocery store, to go to restaurants, bars, and they even put it. I was in the Capitol Arena yesterday. They're like starting on like the 15th. You have to have a vaccination card to get in.
Mm-hmm.
To be able to see concerts, basketball games,
Mm-hmm.
Capitol games.
No, heaven forbid I go to Chocolate City and get carjacked. So,
I feel like that's more San Francisco.
Actually, no,
It's a-
no.
it's a-
That's brown.
It's not as shitty.
It's a little shitty.
But I will say that they're
Different
actually
levels,
like this is off topic. I'm sorry about that, but fucking believe it or not, there has been an uptick in fucking carjackings and everything else like that since everything else has happened, especially amongst those that are Uber and Lyft drivers. Especially considering that like T actually saw a bit of news I saw earlier today, or heard a bit of news I heard earlier today. And it literally says that, some of these people that's out here doing, like, especially Lyft drivers, are not allowed to actually carry and defend themselves while, driving for Lyft.
I'm
Uber
glad I
doesn't give a
don't drive
fuck.
for Lyft anymore because that was my pandemic job was
But yeah.
Lyft driving until that person with the carjacking and then it went.
Yeah,
from
but no,
five
that's
calls.
literally what it is. So, like, there's been an extreme rise in carjackings, especially amongst those that drive those cars because, well, soft targets are. If you're a soft target, you're a soft fucking target.
So you're a nipple?
I hate you.
Wait, what?
No, TJ, it's
Yeah,
your
nipple.
nipple.
Because the
Nipples are hard.
Yeah.
areola
They
makes
are.
it a target.
You said that's the wrong person. His nipples are always hard,
Especially when someone moves them.
especially when someone moves. Them.
they just start to wander, I guess.
Especially
Who moved my nipples? Nancy? Fuck.
disappear. Clint, is that you? Ah, shit.
Shit. Look up and this fucker. I mean, I know I've told this on your
Wasn't the only thing that disappeared in that grocery store.
gone. I have never seen someone move that fast in my life. I look up and there was
Pop
like
smoke.
an after image, like this was Dragon Ball Z.
Just instant
I was like,
transmission.
there is
itself
no
out of there.
fucking way. Oh, Clint, it's you.
He's
I thought I
fast.
heard Yancy's voice. Where his handsome ass at?
Handsome man, bullshit. She called me later that day. I saw Clint earlier. Ooh, he's sexy. I think he should wear some other than black, and maybe I definitely suck his dick. Okay, she didn't say suck his dick. She said she'd talk to you.
And that's why I never stopped wearing black.
There we go. Well, story checks out.
Oh, speaking of which, I can't help notice you called me BBB earlier. I'm small, skinny, and white. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is the
And that's a
same
damn-
skin podcast.
I identify as small, skinny, and white.
You identify as a cat because that's what it is.
No. A cat.
This is just proving
Cat.
my fucking
Cat, as in you lion.
But,
a cat
As
as
in why
in,
you
all right, bringing this back around here real quick. And one of the actual things stated in the video I wanted to kind of talk about was when it was like, oh yeah, you know, a person that's had this indoctrination happen to them, even if you show them the truth, that they won't see the truth. Even when it's shown in front of them, until the boot actually crushes them, they won't see it. What does that seem to go along with that we've talked about on here before?
I was going to say AOC, but I can't fucking think about... Oh, all the delusional shit.
My truth.
Uh-huh.
Modern day women.
There you go.
But no.
Coming in from
Well,
the back,
AOC is a modern day woman. I mean, after all, you know, she went down to Florida
Well,
with
after
her
all,
foot.
she almost got raped on January 6th, even though she was like 3 blocks away. And
you know, she got the coup despite being double...
and, yeah,
was it triple
and,
vax she is
you know,
now?
It's just like, bro, if I was going to commit a rape, I would find someone much, much better than you.
Yeah, but I say like, yeah, because when I want to commit a rape crime, I'm going to go fuck a horse.
That took me a second.
Look at AOC's face and tell me that bitch don't look like a goddamn horse.
She does not look like a horse.
In the motherfucking face is the fucking
She
bitch
just
do.
looks like a New Yorker who's been through something.
No, the fuck she does not. A New Yorker that's been through
stable.
She been, yeah, like you said, she been through the stable.
Oh my goodness.
She probably got metal about her goddamn shoes. Shit. Put the blinders on her. Check her teeth when you meet her.
But yeah, this go. Make sure you got some carrots ready. You might get a prize. Open palmed only.
Wow.
Looks like a
Are we
biter.
really doing this right
We're
now?
doing this. We're fucking doing it.
Well, it is
But-
National Roast
Be careful.
Day.
Be careful when she looks at you because you
It
never
is
know.
National Roast Day.
You know she got them goddamn chameleon eyes. Want to be like, here.
Stop.
Yeah, she should be able to see the dick coming with those chameleon ass eyes.
Oh my god.
She like John Witherspoon and Little Nicky. She had them crazy eyes.
It gets worse. It gets worse.
But no, and absolutely, I feel like that connects directly into this current movement of like my truth this, my truth that. Like I'm not gonna believe it when it's shown in front of me because it makes me feel uncomfortable. I don't like the way it makes me feel. That can be the truth, but it's not my truth. This goes along with these ideologies that are being forced on you by an enemy who wants to destroy your way of life, who wants to destroy your freedom, who wants totalitarian control over you. Because communism is not what it is at face value. Anyone who sees communism and thinks, you know, oh yeah, comrade, no, that's not how it ends up working. There is a face value to something, and there's something hiding underneath, which we'll connect to that when we get to the homework. But you had something to say.
Yeah, so this is the reason why, you know, AOC came to my mind immediately to this right here. So for any of you guys out there that actually want to, you know, enlighten yourselves on a lot of this stuff and whatnot, you know, and this is not going to be a lot of it, to be honest with you, just a small aspect, a small portion of it. You guys got to listen to a guy named Thomas Sowell. Neither here nor there. But Thomas Sowell pretty much comes out and says it's usually futile to try to talk facts and talk facts and analysts to people who are enjoying a sense of moral superiority in their ignorance. So when it comes down to the simple fact of the matter is that what you basically said, where you can show them the truth and everything else like that, but because of their moral superiority, and they don't give a fuck. But this is what AOC's quote is. I think there's a lot of people more concerned about being precisely, factually, and systematically correct than about being morally right. And that pretty much sums up what was said within that in a nutshell. The simple fact of the matter is that you can show them the truth. You can show them everything, but because it doesn't fit their quote-unquote moral values, I don't see shit.
Demoralized.
Yeah.
They don't have a moral value, a moral compass. They're stuck in their emotions. TJ.
The most emotional one.
No, that's his talking point.
He's a hot-blooded man.
It's usually your take when
it's
it's
supposed to
talking
be
about
fiery
people
and
thinking with emotions. So,
Yeah, which is 97% of people.
yeah. So that's being trained though. Does it seem disproportionately different in this current era than it had been before?
Fuck you. What?
Yeah.
It's like a meme I saw earlier. How like 13-year-old versions of ourselves, not you, because you guys were like 3 years old at the time. But that's neither here nor there. How 13-year-old versions of ourselves.
What's that say about you?
Shut up. How 13-year-old versions of ourselves.
But no, maps, fetishes. I feel like we've already been infiltrated.
We've been infiltrated on this podcast already. But no, so how like 13-year versions of ourselves are able to sit down and watch people get decapitated on the internet. It's like, oh well, damn, that's wild. Whereas nowadays, you can't even watch fucking a Peppa Pig episode without, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, to the point where they put what? They start celebrating the Asian American in motherfucking Sesame Street, but no one celebrate the goddamn Jew. The Count.
I mean,
Well, he's been there from the start. Like he's already got his representation.
But I'm just saying, no one celebrated. Oh yeah, we finally get a Jew, it's your boy inside of our thing, and he counts.
Well, they've already got the representation that made the show.
yeah, that's
Point
true.
taken. That's neither here nor there. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
All
There you go.
part of
Wait,
the process.
who's a black character in that? Oh shit, it's Oscar, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
You already beat me to it.
Oh, it's Elmo.
Elmo is not black. Elmo is a small white kid. Hands down, that's like the little small white
No,
boy.
it's going around. Everyone is saying that Elmo is black.
Elmo is not black. Elmo is more like Caillou than anything else. Elmo is more Caillou than Lil Bill.
Oh, Lil Bill. I hadn't thought about that. If you'd ever seen like the one of him as an adult, that series that they had on YouTube,
No, I have to look at that.
that's
man,
very
that's funny.
cursed. It's very
Adult
cursed.
Dora fucking fucked me up for a while.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna have to take a look at these. I didn't know these things
I like
existed.
the day drinking at the wedding episode.
Yeah, no, the adult Dora shit got really fucking dark really
Is
fast.
it worse than Adult Caillou? Because I haven't watched that either.
I don't know.
Which one should I start with?
I don't think I've watched the adult
Just
Caillou
watch
actually.
Well, I already know how Adult Bill goes. You know, he ends up in jail.
Yeah. No, spoiler alert for those.
There's spoiler, man. There's Quaaludes, there's bitches, and there's jail in his 80s.
Quaaludes.
I'm sorry. Keep going.
Get the lewds.
What did I just
No
walk
way
into?
I'm gonna die sober. No,
Just
but
know, Clint was worse than Cosby. That bill was worse than Cosby.
Jesus Christ.
More pills than Cosby.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Sorry. I didn't mean.
Interesting.
Whoa. Wow.
That's very food for thought. Anyway, so moving forward, so this kind of circling around was to kind of unlock the idea that the Cold War never really ended. There's still a war on ideology. There's still forced indoctrination towards demoralizing the crises that are happening. It's all very planned. And why do that, you say? What's the greater goal? To instill communism, but what's communism when you break it down? What do you think of when you think of communism at the face value? When someone says that word.
Everybody gets the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, death.
Anyone? No, hold on.
No, like
Don't fuck this up for me.
That
I'm
comes
sorry.
at the end.
Everybody, like,
Stop
I
spoiling
think-
the movie.
I think everybody gets the same thing, so there's no growth because everybody's making the same money. They have to have the same house and stuff like that. So that's why honestly, that's how
I mean, that's
what I
a
learned,
very
but, like,
yeah.
That's very on paper communism. Yeah.
yeah. Anyone else have anything to say?
Well, I would probably say that it's the wrong thing to look at because I think that fighting against communism and that sort of thing is entirely a red herring. I think that we've already moved so far beyond that now that communism is not the thing to be worrying about right now. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, communism is the thing a lot of boomers ascribe to this mentality where it's like communism is what we're supposed to be fighting. But it's moved so far now that what you're really fighting is a large corporatist global elite, and they don't worry about things like communism. Communism is a tool in the toolbox for a lot of them. That's why, like, if that's the thing you're focused on, you're never going to defeat it, you're never going to beat it, because there's always going to be some little retarded white yuppie that you'll find in some school that's going to say, like, oh, hey, I feel like, my retarded arts degree should be getting paid as much as a, neonatal brain surgeon. It's just like, and it's just like, so you see things like this where it's just like that never is going to make sense. even in the most like optimistic of circumstances, that's never going to work. And this is just one of those things where it's like, this is just one of these tools that they use to go ahead and subvert people, where it's just like, oh yeah, we promise you utopia. We think that we're going to be able to get you there. And then, of course, everything that humans do always turns to trash because, this is how we operate. And, and then, everybody ends up suffering at the end of the day. But the people that don't end up suffering are the ones that have the keys to power, the ones that are wielding the power. So people getting so focused on communism, it doesn't fucking matter. It's a boomer take. It's like you look at people focusing on that sort of thing, it's like, no, this really doesn't matter. It's like the same sort of people that are upset about like fascism. It's like, no, it's just like, this really doesn't matter. Like, you haven't seen it in your lifetime, you're not going to see it in your lifetime, so don't even fucking worry about it. So for a lot of people, especially for the directions that they're going in, they're so distracted with like these other little like nonsensical like issues that they'll never be able to focus on it. And you saw this happen initially at Occupy Wall Street. Once people started to focus the eye on the elite, to say that, oh, hey, these are the source of our problems. There's a lot of people that are pulling a lot of strings and have undue amount of power over our lives. And then what happens right after that? Well, Occupy Wall Street falls apart, and then mostly just because you have a lot of also dirty communists in there that just can't seem to get past themselves. But you end up having this massive distraction because right around the same time you have Occupy Wall Street, you have a massive push for the racial issues. And this is when you start to see like the real divisions between people start to happen. Because people were looking at the elite. They were looking at like, transnationalist global Jewry, and they were just kind of saying, hey, this is a big problem right now. We might need to go ahead and start addressing this. And they didn't even scratch the surface of it before it was like, well, hey, don't you realize like you don't really hate these people that are running things. You're just a victim of systematic whiteness. That's what your issue is. And then, of course, people start latching onto this because a lot of these people that have already had the seeds planted in there for, like, the critical race theory and all the stuff that's kind of, like, metastasized into the situation we have right now, all of that was already kind of in there, planted in, and it's just like, okay, just activate it real fast, and then we're just going to go ahead and start doing it. And that's metastasized into what we have right now. So it's just like, no, like, communism is not the issue, demoralization isn't the issue, like, none of, like, I won't say that the Yuri Bezmenov stuff isn't relevant anymore. I would just say that it's not pertinent. It's just, you can't, say that, okay, well, now that we understand what's happened, we can go ahead and combat it. It's like, no, it's just, it's not important anymore. And what the real focus is that you need to focus on right now to undo all of the things that have been happening is to take it as seriously as they do. Because they take this deathly serious. Like, people these days, it's just kind of like, oh, well, we'll get them next election. Like, this will be when we get them. We'll just, next time in the midterms, we'll get you guys next time. It's like, no. Like, they're playing for keeps. Like, these people are not your friends. They don't have your best interest in heart. They're here to take advantage of you. They're here to pump you of all your worth, all of your money, and then any sort of freedom you think you have, because the power, the control is the only thing that they want. So it's like I said last time I was on, the thing you need to worry about is who benefits. And the individual person.
This motherfucker right here.
What's up? Because all I was going to say, who wants to be a king when you can be a god? That's the reason why these motherfuckers is doing this shit.
This motherfucker right here just tore through, like, my fucking switch up, my whole fucking plan of misdirection, my next 3 talking points. Like, fuck. All right, yes.
Yeah, we're speedrunning it.
Like, yeah, no, you did speed run, because I had the whole communist thing, and I was switching to the globalist, using like the communist blueprint for like influencing. That was gonna be like my next whole like lead up after like, what does communism mean to you? It's like, oh, well, that's not what it is. It's a war of ideology. And
I just rolled in there. Well, I'm gonna let you finish, but
no, like you. That's why I was sitting here just smiling the whole fucking time. Because I was like, this fucking bitch is literally.
Well, that's what happened when you had 2 of the same people sitting.
And I was like, literally, that was gonna be it. And I was gonna be like, all this connects, not directly but figuratively. They're using the same blueprint that's been in play for all this time, for 50, 60, 70 years.
You can just say it's been longer than that.
I mean, it could be longer than that. But the point is even if it's not external factors and it's internal factors from our own government turning corrupt, they're using the same blueprints that we were afraid that communist Russia was going to use against us. because, like he was saying, it's all about power. It's all about who benefits. It's all about the elites wanting more power, what they can get away with because they're addicted to it. I mean, that was going to go into my thing of exactly the corporate overlords kind of ruling everything. I'm trying to like catch up to the end of his fucking thing.
Do you think we're heading towards a civil war?
Yes.
No, so wait,
you
wait.
said
Because I was actually going to say, while you're on the corporate overlords portion, can we get a few examples of that? Because we.
Well, that's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
But my mindset I had to catch up real fucking fast. Just looking at the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, a good example would be. I just finished watching Dope Sick on Hulu, which was a really good series.
I need to.
I finished it. It was a fucking wild ride.
Well, I saw the epilogue out in West Virginia.
It's might not be 100% like they add drama for some flavor in a few parts, but for the most part, it tells a pretty good story of how shit works. Where once you have enough money, you have influence. You use that influence to make more money, whatever you may need to do to get that money. And it tells a story of how a drug that was mismarketed as less harmful than it was for the sake of money was pushed through multiple safeguards just for the sake of that power and money. Just because they could, basically. Just because the people behind it wanted more money and power and knew they could get it. I mean, there was no in the way it was guised behind. The constant mantra was to help people in pain, but as it went on, you could see that peel away and reveal something darker underneath. That was never, ever what it was about. It was always about power, and these are the companies that have influence over the FDA, over pushing stuff forward. The same ones who would want to make a ton of money through government programs, pushing a vaccine that everyone has to take.
They say the road to hell is paved in good intentions.
I even say that like the good current example for if you're looking at the worst kind of corporatism and to see how dangerous it is. Have you guys seen the whole thing with Meta? Like with the rebranding of Facebook. Well, you laugh.
Yeah, I've
you
seen
laugh,
that.
but
Dude, just the fact that imagine, dude, they're selling fucking virtual land. Fucking dumb
That throws
fucks.
me off every time.
well, no, I mean, I wouldn't even say that. I think that dismissing it is a dumb idea.
Oh, I'm not dismissing it.
I'm still confused by it.
I
I'll
mean,
admit that I'm still
well, see,
very-
this is the interesting thing about it is Facebook, I guess Meta now, has been experimenting a lot with VR with I think it was called Facebook Glass, whatever they had glasses that you could wear that would let you experience social media while you're kind of walking around or what have you.
And then they add
Yeah,
and then they actually add the shit like the Ray-Bans and shit like that.
Yeah,
So kind of like those glasses from Des Declassified.
it's almost
Like
it's almost like some Dark Mirror stuff where it's just almost like an augmented reality that you're looking through with that sort of thing. And I think that even just dismissing it as a dumb idea is very dangerous because Zuckerberg has made all of his money look like that had some body to it.
Yes, it did.
But I think that looking at the Meta thing is a lot of people I think have mistook it as the same sort of retarded shit like you said virtual land and NFTs and other sort of weird stuff like that. But I think that for Zuckerberg, who's basically made his fortune selling people's information to everyone, selling info to any company that's willing to pay for it, because a lot of people, they don't read terms of service because nobody reads that. You just said I accept and then you roll in there.
You accept all of them, and then you're like, oh wait, how did this
Because you
get
stuck with
this?
peer pressure. It's like, oh yeah, everyone else told me it's go. Oh, might as well do it.
Well, not
It's
even
like the South Park episode.
Well, not even just that, but it's just if you start to look at what they're trying to do is they're trying to, and it's with their whole metaverse thing, is they're trying to create this integration between the real and the digital. And what that ends up doing is it really starts to, for most people, blur the lines between the two personas, because like, you know, I grew up in a time where like, you know, you were usually posting under anonymity. You were usually just like, you could post any opinion you had out there, like you were in like IRC chat and like stuff like that, where, you know, you just talk with anybody around the globe. Very beautiful age of technology.
It was that the age of AOL and Club Penguin.
Yeah, exactly, right? Habbo Hotel and all the old stuff.
Old as shit.
I am old now. But, you know, it's just like, even in like, you know, like the early...
Fuck, I'm older than you. God damn it.
Yeah.
Bro,
you was never on guy.
That's all it is. You're wiser.
Yeah, I'm seasoned now.
Exactly. Lots of flavor.
That's exactly right. But I think that, you know, when you look at how much that they've invested in this, like this is entirely like a new direction that I wouldn't say entirely new direction, but a vast refocusing of what they're trying to do in Facebook. And if you get to the point now too where you also have Facebook, like, you know, even in small stuff, like they're censoring, you know, news articles, they're censoring people's posts. Well, these are also the people that are going to also be in charge of, you know, how you're going to be interacting with the physical world once they kind of get to that point.
Demolition Man.
Yeah, like Demolition Man. And once they kind of have the point where they have, like, because there's people now talking about, like, chips or contact lenses, glasses that you can start wearing that'll, you know, help you be able to interact with other people that also have this sort of thing. And, of course, like, you know, Zoomers and Alphas these days, they don't really understand, like, you know,
I'm
like...
a Zoomer now?
Yeah, you're a Zoomer. We're on Alphas. We're about to hit Alphas. And after that, we're going to hit Betas where everything's going to get fucked on. But that's neither here nor there.
Wait, am I a
Almost
Zoomer?
poetic.
I'm a
Yes.
Zoomer, but I'm a
Yeah,
Zoomer
you're
too?
you're a
Yes,
Zoomer.
yes.
You fucking loser.
I'm on the borderline. She's clear.
There you go.
What?
Got him. But,
We're the older part.
Got him.
yeah. Like how we're like, I don't even know where we're at for the millennial bit, but it's just kind of like...
I identify as Generation X.
Lies. My mother would slap you in the face right now.
I identify as Generation X.
You're an
And
old
he'd
man.
slap him back, which means that he is Generation X.
When I stub my finger in my toes, I don't go, oh, my pussy, ow.
Well, there you go.
Oh yeah, like that fucking meme. The dude fucking like opened the drawer and like cut himself. So what is it? Generation Z?
Gen X. Gen X.
Gen X?
Gen X is like, ah.
Oh yeah. Gen X. No, it was millennials.
No, it was Gen X first. I know which one you're talking about.
Gen X was
Oh, okay, yeah. You're right. All right, but yeah, it was like okay, Gen X. Fuck. Gen Z.
No, it was like the Gen X, then it was the millennial one. The millennial closed his finger. It was like, mother,
Oh,
fuck,
yeah,
ow, that
yeah.
fucking hurts, shit.
Yeah,
but still walked it off.
You're right. Yeah. And then Generation Z is like, oh, daddy, my pussy hurt.
Stop.
Damn.
You're embarrassing Pat and I.
No, you're not. That's not me.
Yes, it
but
is.
I can pinpoint at least a good 5 people on my contact list who that would be.
You see
So I'm laughing
you
at
see
this
what you
shit.
just did right there?
What?
You said that's not you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why is it when people are like if I say the word bitch, right? I call you bitch, right?
Mm-hmm. I am that bitch, yes.
You my bitch.
But if you're
Whoa.
not a bitch,
No.
then why do women feel like they need to be included in that and then proceed to respond as they've been called that? You see what I'm saying?
Repeat the question one more time.
Okay.
So in other words, if I'm in the middle of saying, look at that bitch over there, why do women get upset about that word?
If they're not included, they don't.
Why you
consider
not
themselves
calling
a
them
bitch.
So if I'm saying, so if I'm saying,
the person who asked that question.
if I'm saying, all right, sorry,
Look.
here's the easiest way.
Look back
If-
Because if
the
you
last
say
3
that, we're gonna be like,
podcasts.
who?
If I say, ayo, bitches
Ayo.
love it when you grab them by the pussy and force their mouth on your dick. Why do
didn't
women
say
get upset
that.
about that? If you
There's
ain't
so
a
many- there's
bitch,
so many things
that
in that
applies.
statement.
But if you
So-
ain't a bitch that applies to, why get upset?
And
The
I
word
thought I was the
force
one gonna
is
get us
in
rated
there.
today.
Huh?
I thought I was the one going to get us the Fed rate today.
Oh shit, we're getting swatted.
Oh my
Yeah, I
God.
was just saying, one's talking anti-government shit, and the other one I
It's
think
like
has
we hear
bitches tied up in his
footsteps, but there's
bedroom, forcing his
nobody
dick in their mouths.
No,
Go, get them out there now.
There's nobody but
Be just like Tim
Oh
Pool.
no, that's the
Yeah.
young
If I hear any kind of crashing noise, I'm closing my eyes and holding my ears because I know what's coming next.
There's children that run underneath the floor.
Alright, sorry.
Underneath the floor.
There's children that eat the floor.
Well,
What?
I mean, we're just gonna be dropping red pills like bombs over Baghdad.
There's children that run underneath the floor.
Yeah, the toilet water that gets flushed out.
Yeah. Sometimes in the shower, I just hope it climbs back up that drain. Man, some climbs back up that drain.
I hope you're ready to be a daycare because I'm dropping my kids off in there.
I feel like it's one of y'all that mean.
No, you said that's what happened to you in the middle of sex.
What?
How was the weather today, bitch?
Yeah,
I
no,
was about to say that sounds very
that
familiar.
came directly from you. No, I won't
Ready
forget
for all
that
the
shit.
kids? You want to be a daycare, you slut, bitch, cunt, motherfucker.
That's we had the conversation about dirty talk. It's like, oh well, sometimes it gets weird and goes too far. It's like, what do you mean?
I'm
Like,
having unpleasant flashbacks.
and then it's just like,
I'm gonna make you my daycare, you slut, bitch, cunt, motherfucker.
I forget what the fuck Yancy said. She's like, yeah, take this dick, you bitch. And she's just like, oh. No, it was more like, oh, you ready to be my daycare? Because I'm going to drop my kids off in you, you fucking bitch. And I was just like, but I was like, God damn.
You know, the insults kept coming out.
What kind of
I'm like,
dirty talk was that?
It
Jesus
stopped
Christ.
being dirty talk and more like insults. I'm like, do you really feel that way?
Yeah, you fucking stupid bitch. Fucking
slut
5 IQ looking bitch.
And then he just starts choking you. I'm like, you trying to kill me?
That's the advanced level of shit. Like, I didn't even.
Yeah, he's playing out on veteran.
Yeah, I was
It's
like,
You slut, cunt, bitch, motherfucker. Whoa, hold up.
the fucking nonchalantness of just like, oh yeah, what he said, well, thank you, take that dick, and then just, oh no, and she said it so fucking calm the first time. She's like, oh yeah, he asked me if I wanted to be his daycare because he was dropping my kids off at me, you fucking bitch, and I was just like, whoa.
It's like, where did that come from?
Felt like Patrick, write that down.
This is a trick we're gonna save for later.
Yes.
That was derailed as fuck, but it was a good time.
Just know, I plan on using that line. Like that line can't be unused now.
But it was used.
Exactly. That's why
But
it
it
can't
wasn't.
be
It hasn't been
And it
used.
was unsuccessful because you got to shove off the bed. And
Well, that's because he didn't use it right.
What do you mean?
He just didn't.
He didn't do it right.
He mistimed it. Was the problem?
Yeah, he didn't do it right.
I
That's a
think-
perfect line.
I think what Black Bob Ross is trying to tell you is he's gonna give you the some happy little accidents.
What? The next thing you know, you're trying to slap the devil out you?
That's
Woo!
right.
That's perfect.
That fucking choking, just there are no mistakes, bitch. Just happy little accents.
Well, it definitely beats me saying, I wanna be the very best.
No, it beats him singing Dora. God
No,
damn
I
it.
have. No, I'm glad at the time I had to hear you didn't say that shit.
I'm sorry.
I don't know.
You know how this goes.
I do know how this goes, but yes.
Oh, you're my best friend.
So
I thought you were topping up again. I was like, well, that bathroom's gonna be a disaster area.
yeah, I mean, to kind of bring things back around, the subversion of ideology has been around since communism. It's just moved. It's going back to talk about the benevolent dictator who promised everything. Has anyone's student loans been paid off yet by Biden? Just by question. Anyone who has student loans here?
Well, you know,
Okay, so-
also on
I
topic,
wasn't
Biden doesn't like
expecting
blacks.
because he voted against it so many
So
times. It wasn't my big.
the promises weren't answered. It goes right along.
Not
with
according to
the whole
Eric.
blueprint work of how all this works.
Something else paid that off.
You know,
It's a mortgage, more terms.
it's all in the same. History repeats itself. As my friend here says, history is a flat circle. It all comes back around again. And we're at an absolute apex of coming back around towards a breakdown in our civilization that's going to lead to the people who want to be free and the people who want to be led coming to blows. Because
I just want free ice cream on my birthday. That's it.
I would make that. I would make that a thing if I was president.
Man, you're never gonna get that because like I remember
That's
seeing
the
it.
thing.
I remember seeing an ad just the other day, and it was 2 Big Macs for $6, and I remember when it was 2 for $3.
Yeah, I was
And
about to say
so-
that is not a
2
thing.
for a $6?
No, it was like 2 Big Macs for $6.
That just
And-
sounds like a trip to the toilet. Which is gonna be more
It
than
is.
$6 in total.
No, but this is the metric. It's like when you go down to Little Greasers. It's like it's not hot and ready anymore. Like
What?
Little Caesars. Like Little Caesars. Like, I mean, you can't.
I will say they changed the sauce. It does not
you
taste
need
as
to
good as it
go-
was.
Little Guidos.
Yeah, you go down to Little Greasers, and it's like you gotta be taking the napkin off there and just dabbing off everything on the top, because like that thing's just gonna be a mudslide later, and it's just like
I know a certain someone at this here podcast. I'm not gonna point no elbows at TJ or nothing like that, but they had themselves a little bit of that, and they haven't been back since they got fucked up by it.
Yeah, but what I mean though is it's just like, I remember when it was 2 for $3, when it was 2 Big Macs for $3.
Dude, that was childhood.
Those were the OG days.
Dude, that's back when I thought I could eat a Big Mac and Roly Poly was on TV.
Oh my god.
Dude,
Don't you know the internet has deemed that fictional? Like that didn't actually happen.
No.
well, it's like
I feel like it's a fever dream every time it pops up every couple. I'm like, did I really watch that show?
Well, the worst bit of it now too is just like it's like everyone says that like it's progress, like we've been doing so well, so much has been like improved upon, but like I remember when I can get a pizza, and if it wasn't there in 30 minutes, that shit was free.
No,
Yes.
that was
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
There's a rumor they might bring that back with like the robot cars.
That's
I
never gonna happen.
No.
doubt it. Never.
That's never gonna happen.
No.
Like
There was actually too much like collateral damage and life loss because of that. They can't bring it back.
She does better when I was in college. We got it 4 hours later. I'm like, nigga, you down the street? I could have walked.
Yeah.
I'd be spazzing out motherfuckers about that.
Well, it's like, it's just like, and things have gotten so weird and so complicated. It's like, like on New Year's Eve when I tried to go and get a pizza from Papa John's, I roll in there, I put that order in on my phone, I roll in. Well, first I got kicked out because I didn't have a mask. So it's just like.
That was a weird 2 days.
Yeah, that was a really weird.
So
Wait, was that here in Nova?
yeah.
So before
no, that wasn't going to happen back home.
But so you already know that's gonna happen down there.
They throw me out for having a mask.
But before
it's just
you go on
it's like,
with
sir,
that.
unless this is a robbery, you're going to have to take that off.
No, one thing that I always find funny about this shit and everything else like that, like, I have a decent paying job. If you ask me, I get paid more than most, and I'm okay with that, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's wild how I can go to a place and someone that is someone that I deem to be beneath me, not because of their pay, but because of their fucking mental state or whatever, comes up to me. Hey man, you got that mask? Why you ain't got your mask on? Why you ain't got your mask? Bitch, you work at Target. You are not 80 years old. You're like a
your
good
wage
32 years old working at fucking Target. What are you doing with yourself? Don't come ask me about my shit. But this also goes back to what you said earlier, Clint, which was the whole thing about people wanting to be led. I actually had a dangerous conversation with someone I know who was pretty much saying that they needed to enforce more lockdowns, they needed to enforce these mandates for vaccines and things like that. I'm not gonna say it on air, but they pretty much were saying that. And I was telling them, like, yo, listen, that's not the way to do things, because we go back to, this person was black, by the way. So we go down that path of fucking logic and everything else like that. We go back to where the government can start doing things such as slavery again. And do you want that? No, you don't want that. As far as them punish people that don't have these fucking vaccines and everything like that, you do realize the majority of black folks don't get that shit, right? You do realize that the majority of black folks still have the fresh memory of what has been done with government testing amongst black folks and everything else like that.
That was along my list of shit. Is why not to trust even your own government.
So
because
like
of that shit. So yeah, just you're already continuing my train of thought.
I do apologize.
As a walking contradiction.
But
I got the COVID shot, but I don't trust the flu shot.
Like, what percentage of Black Americans are vaccinated?
If I'm not mistaken, as of right now, it's just floating around 35%.
That's fucking crazy.
That don't get
That's
vaccinated?
insane.
No, 35% of people that is 35% of blacks are vaccinated. The majority is not.
God damn, dude.
My mom's side is
For the overall
definitely not
numbers to be aware that it has to be like 95% for whites.
That's vaccinated,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so it's just one of those things where like when you take a look at the numbers and everything, is that the
Crisis.
Latino like
number 4 crisis or number
no
whatever
like,
that
and I
fucking
think the
number was.
Latino vaccination rate is a bit higher, but not that much. I think Latino is floating around like 55-60% that's vaccinated.
See, mine was
But-
like I would get fired,
yeah.
and I like my pay. So
But no, so
Already happened.
He got fired.
I'm about to say, and that's another thing. That's another thing too. That where Paul had said beforehand when we did the COVID topic. You got to resist these types of things because when you start complying and whatnot, it just shows us how weak we are. It's like a quote I had seen beforehand where back in the days, people died for freedom. Nowadays, people will let freedom die so they can say they don't have to die.
Yeah. Saw that earlier too. There's a meme on Instagram from a followed page that we both fucking followed.
We both sent each other. So
Well,
it's like,
speaking of
we
which,
both sent to each other three times.
well, speaking of which,
Yeah.
speaking of the other meme page and whatnot, I'm happy you got those two on board.
Mr. Best.
Jeez. Yeah, but yes. Continue.
It's not something that you guys will like.
Okay,
It's-
completely random. Is that Keanu
I'm
Reeves?
not gay.
yes.
What?
I knew it.
Yeah.
That's
I
Keanu
was
Reeves. Look at his face.
I was staring at his
Look at
entire
the hair.
I'm wrong half the
Bruh,
time,
it
so I
says
had-
Baba Yaga on his shirt.
I don't know what that means.
Then you didn't watch John Wick.
I did not. I don't know what that is.
KYS.
Don't tell her that.
You first.
The politically correct term is peacefully sunset yourself.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Shout out to
I
you,
don't
Ralph.
watch movies, white or black. I don't discriminate against.
Hey, what?
What?
Well, she's saying that she's willing to watch like noir, like art house stuff that's shot in black and white, and she's not going to discriminate against like more modern stuff.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
She's not talking about Michael Jackson.
Both black and white.
Don't matter if
Your
you're black
neighbors
or
is
white.
bad as shit at that door, dude.
No, that's just their. That's their normal. That's a light.
Well, on
The
the
walls are
remember the neighbors I was telling you about?
Yeah.
That
They're
was
not cracking the
super
mold.
fighting each other. It's like,
Shut the fuck up.
and the neighbors was like
That
fighting
can
each
never
other.
be
Like,
found.
who the fuck is Big Buff Black and light skinned Barry White? Fuck you! Psh, psh, psh. I see you in that hotel. Psh, psh, psh. Ooh, I'm telling my brother no. Psh, psh, psh. They
I mean,
got kicked
imagine
out.
that being read out in court. It's just like,
We should just give it even worse fucking context.
and I quote,
Like that Bill Burr shit.
Yeah.
It's like Bill Burr when he was talking about the fucking chicken red in court. He's like, yeah, no, it's very different because what happened was while I was with her, she's like, no, stop, you're so bad. No, don't do it. No. And he's like, this is how it's read in court. No, stop, don't do it. You're being so bad. He's like, that's not how she fucking said it.
Oh shit.
Imagine
Now
trying
it's
to
just-
keep a straight face while saying that too.
well, it's just one of those things where you go into it and it's just like, oh yes, and the court would like to bring to the stand light-skinned Barry White.
No, you have to take a pause to the stand. Light-skinned Barry White. And make the pause to make sure they're reading it right, and then look it up to try and see if they can imagine who that's going to be, and then finally reading it.
Now, light-skinned Barry White,
Jesus.
do you promise to tell the whole truth?
Nothing but the truth. So help you God.
Yes, Your
My
Honor.
God.
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
That gave me a fucking flashback so bad. So I was on
And
that
it's just
jury
like-
duty selection.
Oh my god. It's
Well, I
always
thought
better
that
with
was a
the.
myth.
And then you just come
No.
in there and it's just like they have to prattle out your whole fucking
they
thing.
straight up
It's-
asked me. They were like, "Oh yeah, do you ever find it suitable to hit a woman?" And I was like, "Oh, always with an open palm, never a closed fist." Get me off the fucking jury.
If Sean Connery was alive today, that would make him very happy.
No, it was
Thank
like
him for that.
they were going through fucking doing like the selection process. It was like for like a domestic battery fucking case. And I said that shit and they threw me the fuck out. So I called Nancy. It's like 11:30. I got out of court early as shit. I was like, yeah, I got thrown off the fucking jury.
And then we.
Sean Connery quotes. Let's go get Indian food.
That's the first time we had the dishes at Indian spot we went to the other night.
So
And he can testify to this too, because literally he got the call from me. I was like, yeah, I got thrown off the fucking jury saying this shit. Let's go get food.
And I was like, I got this perfect spot. Let's go.
Oh, it's so good.
God, that was fucking
Expensive,
great.
but delicious.
Dude, they could not believe I said that shit. Juror number 7 can go.
Well,
Well, thank you.
and then just the defense is like, huh, based.
Dude, they got me down there from like 9 o'clock to like 11:30. Fucking gave me $40 and tossed me out to go have fun with the rest of my day. I was
Gave
like,
you $40.
yeah.
You get
Yeah.
paid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get paid and they put you in room and board if you have to happen to stay a couple of days.
So they have to pay you like I think it's like at least in Alexandria City at $40 to be down there. Plus your job has to like pay you.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because you can't. Yeah.
Like they have to pay you.
Because you can't miss it.
So a
Yeah.
field trip.
So you're like literally I was getting paid by my job for the day. Got an extra $40 for like lunch. Like tooled down there, like made a mockery of the U.S. court system and went and had Indian food with him and passed out on his couch.
Dude, it was a good time.
Oh my god.
And that was like my day. Like literally was like I was probably drunk when I was saying that in court too at like 9 o'clock in the morning.
No, like you gotta understand,
Allegedly.
allegedly.
And probably was a very misleading term. But so anyway, so yes, and then I destroyed his toilet and passed out on his couch and I went home.
It was a good time. We always have good times.
Yeah.
At the time, I got fucked up, and somehow, some way, a bottle disappeared from a car that we're not going to speak about.
Who's to say?
We'll talk about that after this is turned off. She hasn't heard that story.
She hasn't heard that
Needs to hear
story?
it. No.
Oh,
I feel like that was like
you have to hear this shit.
We're not saying that on recording. That
no.
was a poor one.
You sure don't want to put that on?
That's
Not even
not.
the after show?
That's not. Because it was my
We're still in
place
statute
that
of
they'll connect it
limitations.
to.
Okay.
Still in statute of limitations.
Which means that he was out doing perfectly legal acts.
Yes.
Yes.
So
100%.
Of course.
Like we always do.
yeah, exactly.
Word.
Always.
Yeah.
Good.
Law-abiding
Sometimes
We
abiding
are
citizens.
law
No,
respecters here.
100%.
Shit, I even give homeless people hundreds of dollars.
Period.
All
You know
right,
what?
well, that was
Hundreds
about,
of thousands of dollars.
Yep.
I was gonna say that was
And
about
tuna sandwiches from Subway.
Yep.
that was about why I wanted to
Tuna
get across
sandwiches.
for today was just how the influx of indoctrination and declining morals are mirroring exactly what we feared during the Cold War, except for no one sees it. It's infiltrating our culture. The West is slowly falling because of the demasculization of men, the infiltration of schools, and the falling of economy because the elites want us to be under their boots.